Grave Reviews, this is Chris.
Have you tracked the children?
There's no children here. It's not safe for them.
This is Alan, and Chris is right. Grave Reviews is intended for mature audiences. Your discretion is advised. Grave Reviews presents Thursday Night Frights.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Welcome if you're here with us on YouTube, if you're on X tonight. We really appreciate you being here with us.
Hello.
Chris, how are you tonight, my friend?
I am happy to be here on a Thursday night talking some horror movies.
Yes,
Relive
sir.
the horror of real life. To
No
speak about
doubt.
the ones we want to be in.
Absolutely. It's funny. I had someone ask me once, how do you watch these movies? How do you read these horror books? I said, there's nothing we see here that's any better or worse than what you see on CNN.
How do you turn on the news, man? How do you turn on the news?
I don't know. Anyway, that being said, we're talking about an interesting movie tonight. Cuckoo is it's a 2024 release that has a lot of people split on their decisions on whether or not they like it. And I think before we dive headlong into the movie itself, we probably need to talk about the mating habits or the birthing habits of the cuckoo bird that this movie was based upon. Right? So, if in the wild, right, a cuckoo is having an egg or laid an egg, they'll find a particular style robin's nest because their eggs look very similar. Take one of the robin's eggs out, put their egg in, and then just leave it for the other bird to raise as its own offspring.
Right.
It's a pretty cool thing.
Brood parasites.
Yes. But the thing that they don't always talk about unless you're in an actual documentary about it is the cuckoo is much bigger than its cohorts or the other eggs. So it will destroy everything else in the nest.
Yeah, it's known to like kick its stepbrothers and stepsisters out the nest.
Yeah, kick them out. And the parents will still raise it and still treat it like it's its own. Really a neat, like you said, parasitic brood concept in nature. And this movie took that nature's way and bent it to this film in I thought was a unique fashion.
Okay, so the cuckoo bird is much like the Homo cuculidae, which is the monsters we really know nothing about in this movie.
Yeah.
Except they want to slime you in weird ways.
And not in the Ghostbusters kind of way.
Well, I don't know. We really don't. I'm glad we didn't get to see much more of that.
Yeah.
But basically, they're impregnating a woman with their eggs and such. So she gives birth to a human cuckoo bird.
Exactly the way to put it. They input the egg in hopes that, or not in hopes, that so that the male and female, when they're having sex, he will sperminate, right, the egg, and then boom.
I'm the sperminator.
I am the sperminator.
Oh,
but you understand what I'm saying, right? So you got that
Yes,
germination between the two,
Right.
which is really kind of neat because as we talked about the cuckoo bird killing off the rest of its nest, they kind of pay homage to that in this movie at one point where they talk about how the the baby twin
Yeah.
consumed or absorbed the other twin, which was a
Absorbed.
normal.
Yeah.
There's a scientific name for that, and it's escaping me right now.
Yes. Yeah. Like
Um,
you absorb the twin in the womb. Um, and it happens quite often.
yes.
In regular human
In the real
course
world,
of the humanhood. Okay, so I like how we explain this. This is something the movie doesn't really do
they
well.
but not well. Okay.
Okay, so first off, poor Gretchen, her mother passes away, leaves the house in America to go live in the Bavarian Alps with her father, her stepmother, her half cuckoo
Sister
bird sister,
ish.
sister, yeah, sister, who doesn't talk, nonverbal, they treat it as, um, and they go to live with Herr König, which right off the bat, Kelly and I were watching it. She didn't make it through the movie, but we were watching it, and she looked at me and was like, "What if that guy was doing?" No, you don't have to finish the sentence. Hell no! Like, what are you doing with my kid over there?
I will say this though, Stevens, Herr König,
Herr König.
he is such a great actor. I mean, he
Oh,
really
he
is.
makes you want to hate him. Like he played the part really well. I'll give it to him because, like, oh, we're building a hotel for Herr Koenig. Oh, I'm just gonna hug your daughter and give you little taps on the. Oh, I'll
The
give her a
creepy
job.
hand drag on her back. I was
Yeah.
just like, I don't like this guy.
This guy's terrible. Like, of course, he sounds like he is a villain in the Bavarian Alps.
He sounds like he should have been in Stalag 13.
Right. Oh God.
Again.
Yeah.
Oh
Because
my
we
gosh.
know nothing.
With the nothing.
We know nothing.
To me, I missed the fact that Gretchen's mother had passed. I didn't catch that until halfway through when they found the recorder kind of thing,
Right.
and I was like, "Oh, that's a good twist, right?" Because you're thinking that she's crying to her mom that she wants to come home, and you come to find out, no, she's crying because yes, she wants to come home, but she's using that as a way to cope with the
Yeah.
loss of her mom. I thought that was really kind of a neat little step that
Yeah.
they did.
It's keeping that. So she basically has a house. She's almost 18. She's with dad. She figures I'm here for a bit. Turn 18, going back home. I have a house.
Yep.
I'll live my life on my own. And goes with dad. And they're going to build a hotel for Mr. Koenig. Yeah, Koenig.
Yeah,
Um, This is a place that they spent on their honeymoons. The setup is apparently very weird, with basically all of the guest homes are Herr Koenig's front lawn, his front yard anyway. They basically stay in these buildings.
yeah.
And this is all a scientific. Of course, the creepy lady works for the Bureau of Sick and Contagious Stuff.
And this is, as Chris and I say, it gets all science.
Oh, yeah,
science
for evil.
Science
For evil. Yeah. He's running this testing facility where basically he brings people there. So it's their honeymoon. That's when, they're gonna make whoopee and send in the screechy cookie lady that slimes them, and they go home and have a child who ends up being part cuckoo bird.
Part something. Yes.
Yes. And has a weird shriek, which makes most people go nuts in their mind where they replay a scene over and over. And I think it's really just stunning them
Right.
and
I
making them
think
think
that
that it's
it's like
happening.
puts them into like a fugue state. Is that the
Yeah,
right word?
good word.
And
Good
so
word.
they keep. I did like that though, the way the time kept keeping over and over again, and you're kind of like going, "What's going on?"
Yeah. By
And
the third time, you're like, no, I don't want this to happen.
no, because something bad's getting ready to happen.
Right. And
So
it's usually sliming or murdering.
yes, yep.
So nothing good comes from any of this.
I did like the fact. I don't know if you caught this, but when they showed the throat doing the pulse thing,
Yeah.
that it was very reminiscent to how you see a bird's chest do that when it's
Right.
chirping. So
Yep.
once that you got to the cuckoo connection, I was like, oh, okay, that was kind of neat. That's a neat little
Yeah.
homage, if you will.
Right. And it boils down to Herr Koenig is he's I mean, honestly, he's not only is he creepy and he obviously has a lot of money and owns all of this stuff, but he is a nature guy. He
Yep.
is trying to preserve the rights of this wild Homo cuculidae by offering all these
What
couples
did
up.
you just call me?
The Homo cuculidae?
Okay, YouTube, we're not slandering anybody.
As
We're quoting the
sapiens, we are
movie.
sapiens. This is a branch of human.
They're
And
saying it's a human cuckoo combination.
yeah, very strange. And
Yes.
yeah, n- we're basically impregnating all of these couples that he has in and out of this place. And this was going to be a special visit because the mother of one of these offspring were going to meet.
Yes.
That was like this big breakthrough stuff. But of course, it doesn't quite happen the way anybody planned.
Of course not.
Gretchen's a bit of a badass.
And she's a pain in the ass, let's
And a
face
pain.
it.
Oh, yes. Yes. And yeah, she saves her sister, even though her sister's a mutant. Uh, got the love there. And a creepy cop shows up to help. And so you got the creepy good guy and the creepy bad guy.
And women throwing up everywhere for no
Yeah, women
reason.
are throwing up for happens all the time.
So, on that aspect, just real quick, let me interject something. When Mara and I lived out in Wyoming, we were 9,000 feet above sea level, and they told us all the time that mountain sickness is a real thing, and that you have to drink lots of water. And so, when I saw the throwing up, and I knew that they were in the Alps,
They're
I'm
in the
like, oh,
Alps.
okay, that's a
Yeah.
real thing.
Yeah, it's altitude sickness that kind of creeps on you the
Yep.
higher you go. Sure. It's almost brushed off if the guy that ran the place wasn't named Hair anything
Yeah,
because
and
that
talk
is
like this.
I get it. It's culturally Mr. We should probably just call him Mr. Koenig because Herr Koenig just sounds evil.
It does.
When you're living in the Alps and you're running some sort of weird hotel where everybody comes to throw up. So
Only the ladies. The
only
guys
the
aren't.
ladies, right? There's a
There's a
flag.
lot being said here socially. I mean, let's be honest. But my biggest issue with this movie is I thought it went really well, and then about three quarters of the way through, it became explanation dump.
Yeah, and here's all the answers, and here's a bunch of action
Yeah.
to finish this movie off. So I think that's where kind of it stumbles a little bit.
Yep.
Where it's an information dump. I wanted to know more about these things. I mean, cool. You're building this monster up.
Yep.
The kid's one of them. What's happening? Like, yeah. And they kind of just like, well, it's a type of human and it kind of does this. Oh,
Okay, so my okay, wait a minute. Let's do this real quick. Dun-dun-dun.
oh,
My the thing that I liked about this movie is they had a really interesting concept and they went for it. The thing I hated about this movie is they had a really interesting concept and they went for it.
All right. Okay, that's a good explanation because honestly, like it's a unique idea, straight up unique. Okay, cool. It's another branch of human and creepy German guy. If I might quote Monster Squad, uh, creepy old German guy over there is trying to save an endangered monster,
Yes.
pretty much, by offering it humans to help propagate it. And he has a staff that helps them that have been recording everything on their own.
And apparently, everyone in the area, from the hospital to the police, everyone's in on it.
They all know. They all know.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting paid. Everybody knows. Everybody that's in on it are making tapes and stuff of their own to track the progress and their little science projects within
Science.
science.
Because
It-
science.
There's a lot of science, and a flute,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
weird shrieking, which is the well, could be considered the mating call of the branch of humans.
Yeah. I will say this also that I liked. I liked the fact that the screeching mom, the blonde mom, as well as the blonde girl, when you saw a close up of the face, it had a very uncanny valley effect to where it was just human enough, but not so much that you didn't go, there's something
Yeah.
wrong there.
It wasn't a crazy, transformation or looking different other than the eyes catch you. So I'll give the creep when there's some good runs and scares in this movie. When she's
There
biking
are.
home wearing the big old studio headphones and just going down the lane while this thing is all out running behind you. And she sees it as the shadow on the ground. Very cool. The hand coming
Very
down.
well done.
That was cool.
Yep.
That was
Yep.
cool. The fact that we were kind of like, hey, that's a different type of human. I'm doing experiments. And they come, or and they go. I told you, you're
Yeah.
not allowed to work at night. I'll drive you home, which can't blame the girl for trying to take her bike. Creepy German guy.
Yeah. Well, and not only that, but and you see the trees start swaying and
A lot
the
going on over there.
birds calling. So there's a lot to this to like. But then the expeditions dump starts and you're going, why are you trying so hard? You've sold me to this point. You're getting ready to unsell me.
I did not like the last bit of the ending, other than cool action, some
Yeah.
stuff going on, but it was literally just finally connects with her sister after like the third time talking with the sister
Right.
because she's mainly trying to kick the sister out of her room.
Yep.
So like I didn't buy that. Like, I'm trying to help you. And
Well, the
I
thing that
didn't like that part. From that part on, it was like, I get it, but you set us up all wrong.
well, I'm gonna say no. And this
Okay.
is where the boxing ring comes in, right? It's where because we're getting ready to disagree.
No.
And I'm hoping to change your mind because the young girl, I can't remember her name off the top of my head. Alma, I think.
Yeah.
Um, tracked her mother's phone down and said, "Hey, Gretchen needs you.
Yeah.
She loves you. I keep hearing her call you." And I think that was the point when Gretchen heard that she went, "Hold on a minute. This little demon seed is not a demon seed. She actually cares."
All
And
right.
I think that's where that change came. And
honestly, I forgot
accepted
about that moment where yeah, she's going through her mother's mess. Well, the message is she left her mother, and then yeah, Alma's on there. She sat, and this kid doesn't talk to anybody. She's nonverbal. She's sign language.
This is why I at first had a
So yeah,
problem with it, right? I'm like, she's nonverbal. How's she leaving this message? Remember at the beginning when she talked to Akuma, she had the voice recorder.
right.
That's what you heard over
Yeah.
the message. So I was
Yep.
like, wow, okay, great. That's
Right. So
awesome.
she made it a point to this is what Gretchen does and talks about all the time. So you know
Yep.
what? Given that, I guess you can break down the walls and do what you can to save the sister. Like I said, it was a good action sequence, but it was just and I did like the fact where the sister's like covers your ears
Right.
and and right, yeah, it was crazy. And they take off. Meanwhile,
Cuckoo,
Henry and
cuckoo.
Herr König are like, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. We've done this before. And they're gone and they're left holding
I
rifles on each other.
And I also thought the scene where the Cuckoo mom had her in the file room, I thought that was well done. It paid off the butterfly knives very
Yes.
well.
Yes. Hey, we have
We do.
we do have a chat in there.
Kyle
Welcome.
Ballinger, I believe you, my friend, are the. This is your first time in with us, if I'm not mistaken. And if that's the case, we want to take a moment to welcome you.
Gabba gabba, we accept you, one of us. Gabba gabba, we accept you, one of us.
Just simply by being here, you are a member of the Talking Dead.
Welcome.
My friend.
Welcome.
Thank you for coming in tonight. We are indeed torn, I think is a good way to put it on this particular film. Um, it had some great parts to it. It had some parts that made me want to
Right.
just. Well, hello, Mr. Miller. You too are welcome to the
Welcome.
family.
Gabba gabba, we accept you, one of us. Gabba gabba, we accept you, one of us.
So you
One of
are
us.
indeed, again, a member of the Talking Dead.
The night time is the right time.
Don't
Time is the right
forget to hit that sub and like button. Leave us a comment. Let us know what brought you here. We appreciate you.
Yep. And if you're wondering, we're sitting in the ring here because we're not quite sure where we all sit with Cuckoo. It's not a loser movie for me. It's
No.
not a, shall we say, The Witch.
No, God, no.
Not The Witch with 2 V's. That is a good movie.
Yes.
Yeah, Cuckoo. You got to pay attention, man.
You do. And that's the thing that I had warned you about. I said,
Oh,
hey,
absolutely.
if you're not tuned into this, it's going to throw you off.
Right over your head.
I've watched it now several times, right? I always watch it twice for the show if I can. And I've watched it, as I said, with a group of fellow horror fans, and their reaction was, what the hell did I just watch?
It is.
It's an interesting
and
movie by a long shot.
why? It's like I said, very unique. I like the fact that people thinking outside the box. I mean, that we like that about writing. And I'll tell you
Yes.
what, he did this. I couldn't have done this. This was a good idea. They went all in, and as you said, all in was a lot to take on because you're creating this monster, and most of what we learn from it is ha ha ha, this is what I've been doing. There's a separate type of human, and I've been taking care of it because it's an endangered species, and I am one of those nature people, and
Yeah.
I want to save this, and I'm doing a good thing because I'm an evil person.
So highlights, good representation of the new homo
Cuculidae.
Homo cuculidae.
We are Homo sapien. They're the Cuculidae, named because of the cuckoo bird and its
Right.
rude parasite.
Overall,
ways.
the acting was pretty good. I'd say it was solid.
Solid.
There was no one that was unbelievable. The creature effects, again, just being that uncanny valley, so it was just not human enough to be a little unsettling. When they weren't trying to explain the fact that they were over their heads with their own script, it was a good movie. Once they started feeling that they had to explain everything, no.
Yeah, you had your chance, dude. I mean, you spent a little too much time making Herr König a creepy dude. Maybe that. Look at this. He's got a trophy.
Kyle just made the mention in the chat. That's the reason I did that. So,
yeah. I really wished we knew more from the beginning, whether it be this is what's going on behind the scenes and we're just privy to it, or finding out sooner that whether through the housekeepers or whatever, don't go outside at night because there's like creepy people that aren't really people.
Right, something. I think that the fact. Okay, so when I knew the exposition dump was too much, right, was when the parents left their child at the hospital, because when the natural mother gets too close to the child, the surrogate mother gets sick. And I'm going, all you would have had to have done, because everyone was in on it.
Right.
All you'd had to have done was had them slip them Mickeys, knock them out, put them into a hotel or into a hospital room, lock the door behind them, and go do what you got to do. They went way too much because let's face it, when your kids at that age are in the hospital, if I'm so sick that I can't stay, I guarantee you my better half's going to be there, or vice versa.
Yeah.
I would be like, I'll take you home and I'm coming back.
Right. Definitely. And he lives there. So like going to the hospital was no big thing.
And then the very end when she's driving off, Alma and Gretchen are driving off with her new girlfriend. Mom and Dad are still at home.
Well, that's where the ending goes for me. Like Ed, the new partner in crime that she just met, that punk edge feel that she's into and they're into, and they smoke cigarettes and made out. And now we're going to take my sister and leave the Bavarian Alps. Where are you going? Like, it's kidnapping.
Well, they were going to France, remember? Because she plays music.
Kidnapping is okay. And I'll break out of my punk rock band. And
well, she is a bass player. All right, so there's a reason I said that. When Mara and I started dating, right, I was playing in a rock band full time, and I played bass in this band. And her son, my son Brandon, looked at her and goes, "Bass player, Mom? Really? You had to pick the bass player?" I was like, oh, so
oops.
funny. Anyway, how would you rate this movie?
All right, rating this movie, like I said, had a great premise. Just, I think it was mishandled. So, some enjoyable parts. There was some good jump scares.
Yep.
Definitely creepy factor. Creepy German guy, check. Creepy German lady, check. Because they're scarier than the guys. Angsty teenager trying to break away, which is an easy scapegoat for stupid stuff, shenanigans. Check. Monster, creepy enough, just didn't know enough. So, I'd probably I'll give it a 6 for its originality. It hits the marks out of 10. 5 hits the marks. Give it a little extra. because it's a good idea.
Yeah.
And it's a good action sequence at the end, but it's too much information to explain the story. It's just a good action sequence.
Yep. They, as I said, the thing that I loved about this movie is the fact that they tried really hard to. Did you see the last comment?
see that.
God love her. She's so blind.
She's not
Honey,
wrong.
don't you ever stop being delusional. As I said, the thing that I loved about this was they went with something different and they attacked it with everything they had. The thing I hated about it was they went for something different and they attacked it with everything they had. They didn't know when to draw the line. So yes,
Yeah.
5 hits all the marks. This one hit those marks and then some. So for me, I think it's a solid 7. Had they not backed themselves into a corner where they had to spend 10 minutes just explaining everything,
Yeah, you
it
had
would
to
have been
have
a
the
much
bad
better
guy
movie.
explain to the girl he's going to kill, that he's been trying to kill, that he has some weird room built for her just so she can be killed in.
It was a little much. It was a little much. So I'm a 7 out of 10, but neither
Neat
of those
idea.
two things. God love you. Um, Neither of those two things really have any bearing at all on where we're going to put this on the shit list. Ladies and gentlemen who are here for the first time, the reason we call this the shit list is because we agreed early on we were going to put our movies on the list. Where they hit on that list is where they stay. It's not about the rating, it's about enjoyability and whether you could see yourself watching this movie on multiple reviewings.
Right.
That being said, I have a feeling
Sometimes
Cuckoo's not
hilarious.
going to be real high.
Sometimes hilarious, intentionally tasteless list. Most of these movies we know some of these movies because we're really good at rating movies. Except for Zombievers, screwed that up.
Screwed it up bad.
Whatever. But most of these movies you'll make you go, ah, shit, why'd they put that there? Because we can.
Yes.
Cuckoo.
Would you put Cuckoo at or above Black Friday?
Ooh, that's a good jump too. I wish Viking Wolf was better because
Oh, I do too, because
it's
I love the
Vikings and
idea.
wolves, but you screwed that up too.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I don't think I'd go much higher.
I might be surprising you because I'm thinking this
no.
one goes right between Krampus and Howl.
Whoa.
No, right between Ginger Snaps and Wolf Cop.
Ginger Snaps and Wolf Cop. So what's that put it at?
That puts it right
Legion,
at
Swamp
37.
Zombies, April Fool's Day. Okay.
You know what? No. I would enjoy this. I would enjoy Legion again more than I would enjoy this one. What do you think?
I'd agree with that. I've watched Legion probably a dozen times.
Yeah. I've seen this one 3 times now. This will be the last time, unless someone says, hey, let's watch this.
Great idea.
Yeah.
The characters in the end, we really don't care about. Like,
Yep.
intentionally. They're like, oh, they made it. They're driving off to Paris, where we can do music and love. And, oh, my little sister
Yes.
doesn't talk much.
I will say this also, though. There were 3 to 4 including sign language. There was 4 different languages in this movie. I think had they purposely left us in the dark with some of them, in other words, when they were speaking French, we didn't have subtitles. We had to just kind of follow along. It may have added to it versus subtracting. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's Watch Wolf Cop.
Yeah, and have fun.
I'm glad you put it on that side of Wolf Cop because
Yeah.
Wolf Cop's funny.
Yep.
Cuckoo is kind of it tried to be a highbrow horror where you pay attention, it's science, science, science.
Science is
And
science. Science,
it was
science.
more like science.
Yeah.
It's science.
Yeah, it's we're trying over here.
Because science.
Science, exactly. I agree with you. I think that was a good spot for it. Now that we're out of it, of course, that locks it in place for those of you who don't know. I did not use my wild card last year. Chris and I both get a wild card where we get to like break the rules. And I'm still thinking I might use last year's wild card to move Zombiever up in the list. You know what? You know what?
Oh.
Today's the day.
Today's the day he's using his wild
Today is the day. What do you say, Chris? Where should Zombievers have been?
Ooh, we got a freebie here, huh?
We're getting a freebie today. You're all witness to it. We've got 11 people in here right now, and they're witness to the fact that we're breaking our rules and we're moving the Zombiever to where it needs to be.
All right, so where are we at?
Let's look here real quick. All right, so we're at 52. Don't tell me Zombiever's not on here, because if it's not, I'm gonna be up there. It's at 32.
Okay.
Would you put it in front of Little Monsters?
Ooh.
Behind Brightburn? Or would you put it in front of Brightburn behind They Live?
Ooh. That's not a bad spot.
That's not a bad spot, although I wouldn't be against moving it up a couple either.
I know we're all a little emotional right now.
I mean,
calm down.
We could go right there.
Oh. I have a problem because there is no Funko Pop of a zombie. I have the alien from They Live.
If we lock this one in, it's staying this time. Unless you're using your wild card to move it again.
I'm totally with you on this wild card. Yeah, let's move it up. Let's do it.
We're gonna put it there.
Or we put it right there.
19 it is. Lock it in.
Number 19. The only reason it doesn't beat They Live is because I don't have a zombie beaver Funko Pop.
and let's face the facts. We have been bitching about where Zombiever is forever.
It's a fun movie. It's a fun movie to watch. It's a fun movie to riff on.
Yes.
With friends. Yep. So yeah.
I will watch it. On our list of movies, the one movie that I did not watch this Christmas, and I'm actually kicking myself for it, is I have not watched Better Watch Out. I missed that this year. So I'm gonna have to watch that next year. As everyone in the room knows, it's like my unsung Christmas movie. I love that movie.
Yeah, it's Home Alone. If Home Alone was real.
Yeah. And they purposely do that. Oh, makes me hurt just thinking about it.
Rough. It's a nice twist, though.
It is.
Good holiday movie for a good family movie.
Good family movie. Just like the last Terrorizer was a good Christmas family movie.
Yep. Terrifier was good.
All right. We are right now at 39 minutes. Wow, we went through this one a lot faster than I thought we would, as deep as it is. But I think if we would have stayed on it too long, it probably would have got boring for everybody. So is there anything you'd like to say before we sign off tonight, Mr. Chris?
Well, next week, what do we do? I think.
Hold on. It's a service announcement.
Right. A public service announcement next week.
Ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, next week on Grave Reviews, we are going to be addressing STCs. C. Explain that one, Chris.
This is bringing awareness to the sexually transmitted curses. It is also in the family of sexually transmitted ghosts, sexually transmitted vampirism, sexually transmitted zombies. It's something that not enough people are aware of.
Yes, we have to.
And especially the sexually transmitted curse. It's a terrible thing.
It is horrible.
You need to make sure that you are using protection, um, including condoms and sage smudges.
And maybe crosses and biblical verses.
Couldn't hurt.
Can't hurt.
Yeah. Maybe be a little more selective with your partners.
Yes. So we're having next week. It follows
It follows.
sexually transmitted curses. STC.
Right. Guy had a curse and he was like, he did it with that poor girl. And now she's got the curse.
And I'm scot free.
Yeah. He was like, ha, no topical cream for me.
So next week, we are going to again be broadcasting on YouTube as well as Twix. And I keep interrupting my co-host. I'm sorry, Chris. I'm just excited.
It's exciting. It's exciting to be able to give back to the community and bring awareness to something that is dangerous as that curse that can keep following you. I believe it is on Max LG. I'll have to look it up. But
I'm looking it up right now. It's a good question. We should have this stuff.
Yeah.
It was on
meantime,
Netflix.
We can
Shows
have
to still be on
LG
Netflix.
throw in the chat there bio.link/graverev where you can reach us at all of our socials. That's including the Twix, the Insta, the Facebook, the TikTok, the YouTube, and not only an email to get in touch with us on movies you think we should review or tell us how goofy I look. Either way is fine. You can also go to our merch store where we have some great stuff out there. I have reached out to two of our winners from last week's drawing. We're going to be getting with you guys if you're listening very soon. Coordinate with you to get together what we have planned to send to you. Thank you for watching. We love you guys. Love the Talking Dead. Thank you to our new members. And stay spooky, friends.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are so humbled that you would choose to spend 45 minutes of your week with us, just listening to us laugh and cut up about something that we love, a passion of ours, which is horror films. So thank you for being here. See you next Thursday as we talk about It Follows. You may or may not like the fact that I'm not sure how I feel. I have
He
feelings.
might have feelings.
I have feelings.
He has
That
feelings.
being said, until we see each other again, ladies and gentlemen, may all of your nightmares be groovy. Have a great night, everybody.